Hey everyone, Jeff McElwain here, and today I'm going to talk about how you can use the pentatonic scale to outline just about any chords in any chord progression. Now, just recently I did a video on how you can use your major pentatonic scales to outline your dominant seventh chords. And the chord progression they used was kind of intricate, and people said, well, this isn't that simple. I don't really play over things like this that much. So I hear you. So what we're going to talk about today is how we can use the minor pentatonic scale and a major pentatonic scale to outline the chord changes of a relatively simple diatonic chord progression that you heard in the beginning. So before we get going, if you like my channel and this content, please hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps out a lot, gets the word out, grows my channel, and helps me continue to do this. I also have a special sale on my Beyond the Pentatonic Scale in the Blues Masterclass, and you can get that for a super deep discount using the link above or below. So let's dig in. Gear-wise, today I am using my Fractal FM9, using a JTM 45 patch for some delay and reverb, PRS DGT core with Ron Ellis LRP pickups. I switched these out, and boy, does it sound good. Now, I stole this chord progression from the Jeff Beck tune called Behind the Veil. And the chords are as follows. It's F sharp minor to C sharp minor, B minor, and then E7 sus4 to E, back to the F sharp minor. So that's all I'm soloing over. So in the key of F sharp minor, this is a 1, 5, 4, flat 7 chord progression. The overall scale for this is an F sharp minor scale. So let's hear how that scale sounds over the chord progression to start off with. So that sounds pretty great, right? I could also use an F sharp minor pentatonic scale over the whole thing, and that sounds really cool. I can go kind of bluesy with it, so let's hear a second of that. So both of those scales sound awesome. The blues scale, to me, sounds like home base. I'm always going to rely upon that or go back to that. Just love that sound. Anything I play is always going to have a bluesy element to it because it's just my background. I love that. Now, the F sharp minor scale or F sharp Aeolian also sounds great, but I find, and many students tell me this, and I was the same way, when I was thinking about playing or nailing chord tones as the scale or as the chords go by in the song, when I'm thinking of an F sharp Aeolian scale, I'm thinking more scale-wise than I am thinking outlining the chord changes. So one cool trick that we can do here is on our minor chords, we're going to play that chord's minor pentatonic scale. And on our one major chord, that E7 sus4, we're going to play E major pentatonic, or we can just skip it because it's only 2 beats. So let's listen to what that's going to sound like. The trick here is to be able to do it in one position. Okay, so I'm going to play F sharp minor, C sharp minor, B minor, and E major pentatonic, which is the same as C sharp minor, and back to the F sharp minor. Let's hear how cool this sounds. That sounds really cool, doesn't it? Why? Well, the F sharp minor chord, I can imply it's F sharp minor 7. So F sharp minor 7 is spelled F sharp, A, C sharp, and E. F sharp minor pentatonic is spelled F sharp, A, B, C sharp, E, F sharp. So F sharp minor 7, once again, is F sharp, A, C sharp, and E. F sharp minor pentatonic is F sharp, A, B, C sharp, and E. So we have 4 of the 5 notes. right? So the pentatonic scale contains an F sharp minor 7 arpeggio. We can hear that as an F sharp minor 11 chord. Beautiful sound. So an F sharp minor 11 chord, if you play an F sharp minor pentatonic scale, you're playing an F sharp minor 11 arpeggio, or you're just playing a pentatonic scale. Now this holds true for all of the chords. So C sharp minor, or C sharp minor 7 by extension, is spelled C sharp, E, G sharp, and B. C sharp minor pentatonic is spelled C sharp, E, F sharp, G, B, C sharp. So once again, we have the C sharp minor 7 arpeggio in there, contained in the minor pentatonic scale, with an added fourth. If we bring it up, it's an 11. So that F sharp's a great sound, right? Maybe we don't sit on that note, but it's right in the scale. So once again, if you're playing a minor 7 chord or a minor chord, you can use that chord's pentatonic scale. So let's keep going. B minor, or B minor 7, is spelled B, D, F sharp, and A. B minor pentatonic is spelled B, D, E, F sharp, A. So once again, it's a B minor 11 arpeggio. Now we have the E7 sus4 spelled E, A, B, and D. And it's going to resolve down to E7, E, G sharp, B, and D. So the sus4 just replaces the G sharp. It's the A that replaces the G sharp. So E major pentatonic is spelled E, F sharp, G sharp, B, and C sharp. So we get E, G sharp, and B. We get 3 of the 4 notes of that chord. That's plenty, and it sounds great. Also, E major pentatonic is the same as C sharp minor pentatonic. So it's kind of cool, same scale, don't have to think too much. So let's hear this all again. I'm going to call them out. F sharp minor pentatonic, C sharp minor, B minor pentatonic. I'll skip this. F sharp minor pentatonic, C sharp minor, B minor, that sounded pretty cool right there at the end, right? I threw in that E major pentatonic and then resolved to the A of the F sharp minor chord. So as I said before, the real trick to doing this successfully is to be able to do it in one position, sitting on top of each other. So you really need to know the scale fingerings that as they exist in there. And in many ways, you're starting to go through the arpeggios of these chords. If you want to know more about your arpeggios, check out my free ebook and mini course called Arpeggios Unlocked. Using the link above or below, it's free. Go grab it. Please check it out. The problem is if I don't do it in one position, I'm moving all over the place. I can't connect ideas. F sharp minor pentatonic, C sharp minor, B minor, C sharp minor, F sharp minor. Right? You cannot connect any musical ideas when you're jumping around like that. Now, of course, if you play all of those pentatonic scale fingerings from root all the way up and back down in one position and try to use that as a soloing idea, it's going to sound pretty bad. Right, so that just sounds terrible. So a great way to work through this is to just do it on string sets. So I'm only going to work through my top 3 strings. So for my F sharp minor, off of fingering number 1. Now to stay in that position for our C sharp minor pentatonic scale fingering, use fingering number 3 commonly, right? But I'm going to use the top 3 strings. So I'm going to start on my G sharp, B, C sharp, E, F sharp, and G sharp. Okay, now my B minor right here is going to be the A, B, D, E, F sharp, and A. Now, I said earlier, we can skip over this E sus4 move. And I would recommend you do that at first because it's only for 2 beats. It goes by pretty quickly, so I don't always want to grab that. I mean, I can. But, you know, just to get used to this kind of thing, I can still play F sharp minor pentatonic over the whole thing. So I'm going to solo and try to make music. The most important thing we're going to talk about here, make music. And I'm going to stick to the top 3 strings. I'm also going to look for notes that move smoothly from one to another inside those scale fingerings. Okay, so let's check that out. The reason why I made a face there when I went down from this D to the C sharp, your ears heard it. It sounded good, right? So we're starting to maybe mix those scales. So we can start to do this in another set of strings, right? So let's continue. Let's try it here. There's my F sharp minor, my C sharp minor, my B minor. So you can already hear that chord progression just from changing those scales. Why? The notes of the chord are contained in each of those scales. We're working through chord tones, arpeggios. It's just kind of a back door to this stuff. Now, why would I choose the pentatonic scale as opposed to an arpeggio? Well, sometimes it's easier for us to think about it. Also, that's under our fingers. It sounds great. Also, we add in that fourth. It's just a great passing note. Sometimes the fourth or the 11th sounds really good as a melody note. They're just options. These are just things that you can do to think differently about playing over something while making all the chord changes. So let's check it out. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to play the fourth string, third string, and second string. Let's check it out. Pentatonic scales. So what's next? Experiment. Just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. Try a different position. F sharp minor. C sharp minor. B minor. And back to that C sharp minor, E major, F sharp minor. Let's hear that. So you get the idea, right? We're just going to use the minor pentatonic scale of the minor chord and the major pentatonic scale of the major chord. Now, there's a little thing I'm not telling you. Let's do it now because this is kind of the mind blower. If I were to write out the notes of F sharp minor pentatonic, F sharp A, B, C sharp B, the notes of C sharp minor pentatonic, C sharp E, F sharp, G sharp, B minor pentatonic, B, D, E, F sharp, A, and put them in alphabetical order, I would get an F sharp minor scale. Of course, we have the E7 sus4 chord, and that takes E major pentatonic, which is also the same as C sharp minor pentatonic, so it's the same scale. So we are playing the three minor chords of the key of F sharp minor. If we take the minor pentatonic scale of each of those chords individually and play them over those chords, and then we put it together, we are getting the full minor scale. So Jeff, why don't I just use the full minor scale? Because it makes you think differently. You heard the sounds. By omitting the notes from a full minor scale and playing the minor pentatonic scale, which gives you a minor 11 arpeggio, so a minor 7 arpeggio with the added note, you are starting to outline the chord changes whether you know it or not. By using this scale and thinking differently, by kind of minimizing the way you approach this, seems like a lot, but what I mean by minimizing it, you're not using all the notes of the scale. You are more inclined to hit the proper notes of the chord that you are on. So you are essentially outlining the chord changes by using its related minor pentatonic scale, which also gives you a beautiful tension note of this 11th. Gives us that pretty chord. Now, I'm going to, just for fun, I'm going to play the chord progression and only play the 11ths. Check it out. It's really pretty sound too, isn't it? So you can use this chordally as well. So I hope you find this helpful. I know once I started to get this together, so many doors opened up. I felt so less scared about playing over chord changes. I could approach things with much more confidence. I just sounded better. I got away from just playing a pentatonic scale all the time or trying to make a minor scale sound good. By thinking of these individual pentatonic scales, I'm outlining the chord changes through sort of the back door. And that's a great way. Any way that gets you there is great. You do want to start to think about what notes you were on while you are playing them. Eventually, that is important, but that sometimes takes more time than it does for you to just play the pentatonic fingering that you know over that chord. It will start to sink in. Don't let that other stuff go, but dig on this first and get it under your fingers, get it into your ears, and get it into your playing. All right, once again, please hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps out. I know people always ask, but it really does. It helps the algorithm, helps my channel. And if you like this video, please do that for me. I'd appreciate it. What I also want to give to you is my free Arpeggios Unlocked ebook and mini course, which you can get for free above and below. And I also have my Beyond the Pentatonic Scale Blues Masterclass that you can get for a really special discounted price by clicking the link below as well.